Hey everyone, Entashed here, and today we're going to be looking at Stormdancer'S Brace, which is essentially Rampage for your Stormcaller. This exotic is pretty damn powerful and a very welcome addition to the Stormcaller subclass because at times the damage feels very lackluster. This is great for AoE clearing, killing multiple additional enemies very easily, but my goodness, does it start melting bosses once you stack up the damage. This is going to be a top-tier exotic if you like to play Stormcaller. However, if you're more interested in cooldowns, there are some other options we'll discuss later on in the video. With Ascending Amplitude, each enemy you defeat with the Storm Trance ability will increase the damage you deal with Storm Trance. This stacks up to 5 and is a very large boost to your damage, around 3 times the damage. Let's take a peek at the numbers really quickly. So the Stormcaller damage is going to ramp up as you fight targets. You're going to see in my first hit here, I'm doing 2,487 damage approximately. This can vary from enemy to enemy, but it's going to ramp up. Now in this footage, I am not using the exotic. I kill some enemies, I'm attacking the ogre, it's ramping up in damage into the 3,000 realm, and I'm ending off at about 3,702 damage. That's a pretty good amount of damage, and I get it down to half health. Well, the damage is drastically more, 3 times more to be exact, with this exotic. So as I start killing enemies, the damage will start ramping up. I get stack after stack, which maxes out at 5 stacks, allowing me to do 9,780 odd damage. Now, you can also use your land strike or your landfall attack to do a quick burst of damage, kill multiple enemies, and maximize your time in the Stormcaller, or you could just use Top Tree. But using this exotic allows me to actually kill the ogre, and that is a pretty nice treat. You can run in, use your super, kill everything in the area as well as the boss, and get the hell out of there. Now, one of the big issues with Stormcaller before is if there was a lot of yellow health bar major enemies, especially the tankier ones like knights and witches, captains, and things like that, they took too much damn time. You wasted a lot of your super trying to kill these guys, and your area of effect clear wasn't great. If you're able to kill some trash mobs before engaging on those majors, you're going to be able to just wipe out everything very fast, making it much more usable, much more valuable to your team, because there's going to be much fewer, threats on the map. They're going to be dead. They can't shoot you if they're dead. And this just makes things dead faster. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You're going to notice the value in this whenever you're fighting nightmare enemies because they typically spawn a multitude of yellow health bar enemies to assist them. You can mow down the first few and then lay into the boss, typically killing them or getting them damn close every time, as long as there are a few trash mobs to scale up your damage. If you can only get into the 3 or 4 times, there might be situations where you leave it with a sliver of health, but if you've got 5 times, pretty much everything is dead after one super. But it also depends which super you're using. Top Tree Stormcaller has the added benefit of giving you increased duration on your super if you have full ability energy. It also gives you Ionic Blink, which allows you to move around the map, and if you have a teleporting target, you can catch up and murder them. That's awesome, but if you proc it when you don't have abilities, you are then neutering the duration, and it's not going to be as effective. You also need a few trash mobs right around you in the area to stack up to really maximize your damage, and it's not as instantaneous as Landfall. While Landfall's duration is shorter, you can usually kill 3 or 4 enemies to get that damage ramping pretty much instantly, so you get a much higher damage boost sooner. In some situations, this can actually be optimal, especially if you're not casting Stormcall with full ability energy and getting the bonus from Top Tree. In many cases, I would actually recommend this Landfall to clear out a bunch of the trash mobs right now, get that damage boost, and lay into the boss. With that being said, if there are a ton of enemies, you know you can have your cooldowns, you just rally to a flag, Top Tree is going to be your better choice for overall damage if everything lines up perfectly. There's a bunch of Thrall, you can spam this and hit this right as the boss is spawning, get max stats, your damage will be higher just because it lasts longer. Now this is going to be one of those, well no shit Entashed moments where I say, if you're in your super, you're not shooting guns. And with how powerful some of these guns are in the game, you might want to be doing that. Stormcaller has a pretty long duration, and it does pretty damn good damage, especially once you have this exotic, but when you're in that super, you are not doing additional damage with your weapons. Now, I want to give you a couple examples here of why you might want to shoot those weapons. There are some damn good exotics in this game. There's some single target DPS weapons. There's, Whisper of the Worm. There's the Deathbringer rocket launcher. There's even something like the Risk Runner here that does amazing area of effect damage. Now, the Stormcaller is known for area of effect, which is amazing, but I mean, there are situations here where the Risk Runner can do probably just as much. Now, as I said before, when you're in your super, you're not shooting guns, and with the overall DPS of some of these weapons, you might actually be losing damage. But you could also amp your damage by using something like the Well of Radiance. If you look at the overall damage buff you're going to get of, 25%, that is a lot of extra damage to have with these weapons. But what about something like the Nova Bomb? Now, the Nova Bomb is already going to hit very hard, but with the From the Depths mod that you can get through your artifact, grants additional super damage when you cast this while critically wounded. This bonus damage is going to make Nova Bomb hit like a damn truck, but it's also a very quick cast and a very quick burst of damage. That means that your downtime with weapons is negligible, and you're going to throw down a damn nuke and then get back to shooting. This is an overall huge boost to your burst potential and even your overall damage per second. Is it going to be the best? I don't know yet. I need to test this, but the potential is there. Do you want to be locked into a super building up stacks, or do you want to throw out a super, do a bunch of damage, and get back into the fight with your other damage abilities? You can even stack it with something like the APOTHEOSIS Veil, which allows you to heal when you use your super, so it's even less risky to do it. The Void potential is here this season, but there are some cool artifacts for Arc as well. Unstoppable melee will be very important for taking out unstoppable champions that literally sprint at you until you're dead, so being able to punch it in the face and stop it is going to be valuable for your team. Thunder Coil is going to boost up your damage while doing those melees, as well as give you super energy back if you do finishing blows. And Arc Battery is going to give you an overshield and reduce cooldown during the activation of all Arc abilities. That means you get an overshield while you're supering. That's nuts! Honestly, this is probably the most viable Stormcaller has been in all of Destiny 2, and for situations like this, it is invaluable. It is extremely good, if not the best, for clearing out all of these trash mobs, and then I'm able to lay into the boss. This exotic is going to be a top tier pick for the Stormcaller. It's going to be a top tier exotic in my opinion, because it just adds so much damage and value to your team. These are stronger enemies. These are like 30 power levels higher than us. So I mean, considering how much damage I did, I'm pretty happy with that. As for PvP, this is a bit of an upgrade, but there's probably better choices. You do get additional damage as you start killing these enemies, making each target easier and easier to kill. After just a couple of stacks, you only need to hit them with 2 damage ticks to murder them. Now, Stormcaller already hits pretty hard, and so you might not notice this that much, especially if you're in a 1v1 situation, but the stacking damage can turn the tide if there are multiple targets that you're trying to kill all at once. As the first person goes down, the second one goes down easier, and there are situations that you will come out on top and survive because of this bonus damage, where you would have been bursted down without it. Just a heads up though, there have been some pretty big armor nerfs to supers in the game, so if you are diving in against multiple people, well, you might just get neutered like I did. And so I'm not sure how valuable this damage bonus is, because you might die before you really get to use it. There might be some better generalist exotics that you might want to try out. Does this exotic look cool? Yep. Is the effect cool? Yep. Would I recommend this? Absolutely. It turns the Stormcaller into a rampage murder boy, and I'm a big fan. The Stormdancer'S Brace is a kick-ass exotic, and you can actually get it from the final mission of the new Shadowkeep DLC, so it's very easy to get. If you like this, play through the campaign on your Warlock, and you're going to be greeted with this spicy, spicy boy. Just make sure to save some kills for me when you're killing everything with your Stormcaller. Just make sure to save some kills for me. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe for more. Make sure to like and share and give me a little kiss on the cheek because I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.